Hey everybody, I'm going to show you in this video how to download your data from Qualtrics and how to make sure that you're getting all of that data. So this is pretty straightforward, but there's one kind of trick to it that I think a lot of people miss that I wanted to make sure we weren't losing a bunch of data from. Okay, so I have this just kind of little test survey that I put together with just some placeholders in it, so I could demonstrate this. But if you look up at the tabs that you're kind of becoming familiar with now to see the different options and menus that you have in Qualtrics, unsurprisingly, what we're going to go to here is the Data and Analysis tab. And what this brings up is a summary of your individual responses. You're going to have a lot more than the three kind of random responses that I did here, obviously. And you are going to have more than just one page. So right now it's just showing that I have three responses, two of which where I consented and answered everything, and one of which where I didn't consent, just to show you kind of what this might look like. So this is useful just to see summary stuff, but it's not going to show most of your answers. It's not going to be anything you can actually use in SPSS. So you need to actually export all of this. But one thing I want to make sure everybody does before they export it is notice that over here on the left-hand side, you have these recorded responses, which right here says 3, and that is indicative of these 3 down here. But there are these other responses that you'll notice, responses in progress. So what these are is what maybe it sounds like that people did not finish the survey. And you'll be maybe surprised, maybe not, that a lot of people might not follow all the prompts and go all the way to the end of a survey. If they don't reach the final page, then their responses are stuck in this responses in progress part and don't end up as these recorded responses down here, and they won't necessarily be exported when you try to get your data. So in order to close all these responses to make sure that you're getting everybody's answers to everything, you click on this Responses in Progress tab. You highlight, you can highlight individual ones by clicking the box on the left of each response, or you can just click this master box up here that highlights all of them. They'll be down there. And this with selected box becomes available here. And what you can do is close these responses. If you delete them, then they will be gone forever, so don't delete them. But if you close them, it asks you if you're sure to do it. Yes, I want to close one response. And it takes a little time to update sometimes. Let's just go to a different page so it'll update a little bit. Yeah, sorry, it's pending close, so just got to wait for it, unfortunately. This might take 30 seconds or a minute. Let's see. Sorry, it's taking a little bit of time. If you can believe it, it's even more awkward for me to sit here and wait for it than it is for you to listen to it later on. Okay, so now that one that I just ended, I stopped it, so it is now here. You can see there are no responses in progress, and that one response that was in progress is now a recorded response. Okay, so now that you've got everybody's responses recorded, you can export your data. So if you go to this export and import menu and just go to export data, you can go to these different options. And people might have reasons for using all these different things. People use different programs, obviously. And if you are using something like R or Stata or SAS or a different statistical program, then you might want one of these other options to transmit your file to that program. But for you, you're using SPSS for your data. So you would just click this SPSS spot. You would go to sorry, you would go to this SPSS spot. You want to make sure download all fields is selected, and you also want to go to this more options spot. And what you can do then is also click this box to export viewing order for randomized surveys, because this is going to make sure that you have some indicator of what instructions people saw. So some of you, right, your manipulation is just that people saw one video or another, or saw some combination of instructions or something. And depending on how you program the survey, it might not show you that unless you have checked this export viewing order box. Remember, you did those randomized surveys. So this will tell you in what order people saw things and what exactly they saw by just like putting a 1 in a column. Okay, so then you just hit download. It might take a little bit. This file is pretty small, so it doesn't take very long. It's going to give you a zip file that you open up, and then you just pop it open, and that will be the data for your experiment. It's going to give you just the name that you put into Qualtrics and a date and time. Obviously, save this as some name that's going to be recognizable to you. If you want to leave it, that's totally fine, obviously, but you might want to change it up a little bit. Okay, so as you can see, there are these different variables that come with it. It's going to show you all of these different outcomes. Obviously, mine are all just these random things that I put together just to make it work quickly for me. Yours is going to have your variable names up here on the top, and responses that tell you something important about your research questions. So that's pretty much it for this. If you have trouble getting the data, if you have trouble figuring out exactly how you need to organize it or use it after you have it, those are going to be kind of individualized questions that I'm not really able to answer here right now, but if you have any issues, let me know, let Jenna know, ideally let both of us know, and then we can, the first person that sees it can help somebody out. But just keep us posted. We're here to help. You're not expected to do this all on your own, because it is, something you would usually have help with in person in lab. So we can Zoom and share screens, we can email, we can talk on the phone if that works better for somebody, but whatever you want to do is totally fine. Just keep us posted, and we will help you out with your analyses. So best of luck.